Welcome to the X Room Podcast. I'm Maylee Nelson.
Sean Finnegan.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We get to interview one of my favorite people that I have ever met. We call him, the smart Jesus. We'll call him the money Jesus. Garrett Gunderson. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So
You just had him
honored.
on stage too,
I
didn't
know,
you?
yeah.
Well, she always
so fun.
fills the room for me when I
Yeah.
do these once a
She's
month
good at
lives.
that.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, well, rightfully so.
I don't even invite people anymore. I just
know.
let you know about it, and then it's filled.
Exactly.
I think one of the best compliments I can give you too is I've been around them a lot, and there's so many people that come up and that are impacted by your thought
Yes.
in books and on stages, everything else. Like when I'm with Garrett, people come up. Of course, I'm like the sideshow. When I'm with him, he's the main show.
We're in your home. We're in your, you got 300 people out there.
Yeah, and people always come up and is like, "Oh, Garrett, I've read your stuff. I've read all your books, and this is like you've really made an impact on the world,
Yes.
man. It's a real honor."
Thanks, man. I made a post showing I have 4 books in the top 20, I think right now on Amazon, with 3 of them being in the top 10. And there were people like, I didn't know those were your books. So it's kind of cool that people are now, they've read it.
Yeah.
They didn't even know it was my book,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because writing was kind of my first love, really, when it came down to just the way to teach. I wasn't good at it at first. I was scared of it. I was, shoddy, but I just started to hire writing coaches and good editors and just take time every morning to write.
I feel that's a pattern with Garrett, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%.
You want to learn how to speak on stage, so you hired who?
Yeah, I hired first Roberto Monaco, then Jonathan Sprinkles, then Michael Port, then Teresa Esar. I just was Michael Port took me through, I did one-on-ones with him. I flew out once a month.
He's a celebrity.
So he's really good. He's written a bunch of books, a few New York Times bestsellers. And then the 2 hardest coaches I ever had was Larry Moss, who was an acting coach.
That's right.
He coached
what it is.
DiCaprio in a bunch
Yeah.
of movies. I was definitely the most shoddy actor that he ever coached. And my sister was there some of the time when he was coaching me, and he yells at you because he wants you to shock the nervous system, and she's crying.
Oh, gosh.
And then he's like, "Why are you talking so fast?" I'm like, and then this other guy, Jean Louis, helped me with movement. So I just to immerse myself in this world of how can you improve a skill set to make a bigger impact, and then you get the skill set and the money instead of just trying to make money. I don't sometimes people say, "Oh, this is Garrett, he's a good investor." Well, I'm not really a great investor. I'm a great at investing in myself and then building a business and movement around that, not necessarily real estate or oil and gas. I've lost money in that kind of stuff.
Sure.
My favorite thing that you actually said with your last podcast that just it was just such a gut-wrenching, oh my gosh, everyone in the world needs to hear this. So here, everyone's going to hear it, right? But I want to hear your take on it again, is just this concept of we're so indoctrined in America to invest in other people and to invest in other companies and stock markets, somebody else's money, somebody else's success. Invest. I know exactly what to do with your money. And we don't stop and invest in ourselves, and we don't believe in ourselves. And I went, invest in yourself. It was just this, I don't know, reframe that obviously I believe and have believed for a long time, but it was so good the way you put it together. Can you kind of expound upon that?
Yeah, Sean's just speaking in front of this group of entrepreneurs and said how many people have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Right? And it's even hard for them to raise their hand,
Yes.
even though they feel that way. And it's because if we don't know our story, then we buy someone else's. And other people are really good at selling us their story of why this is going to make us rich, and we think we're going to catch up on lost time, and it's going to be really easy, but we don't get something for nothing. There's a cost to it. There's an energy that goes with that. And so compounding knowledge far outperforms compounding interest. Compounding interest is what people do when they don't know what to do. But I have a big enough vision that I don't need to put my money into other people's companies. You don't see the biggest companies in the world going, we got extra cash, let's put it into our competitors through the stock market.
Right.
They go, let's buy capability. Let's sit in cash until we know what's next for us. And when everybody else is like, oh, my cash is losing to inflation. Yes, it does. When you're a business, you can offset that by adding more value, serving more people. Or you're the king of collaboration. So you collaborate so you can provide more to that individual. But you have to have that leap of faith in yourself because, here's where exponential growth comes from. When you're not good at something, like Sean knows, I've been talking to him about it, is I haven't been amazing at video. I've been good on stage. You've seen me on stage. I've been really good at writing. But on video, it's different. And so I was all right, I'm going to have to be willing not to be good to get good. So I just had a session with this guy, Owen. I don't know if you guys have ever met Owen, but he's fantastic. He was asking all the questions at the last event.
Owen's great.
And he just spent an hour and 15 minutes with me, with my video director, Weston, saying, all right, let's go through this. And it's worked with me. And it's uncomfortable and it's uneasy. but skill is on the other side of that. Freedom is on the other side of that. And personal growth is on the other side of that.
Well, I love it. Like, we're seeing a pattern here. Like, if you ever, I think if anyone's watching this, like, hey, take a page out of what Garrett does. Like, if you want to get good at something, get mentoring, get people who have experience into it, and actually pay for speed. Yeah. And he's done that in speaking. So, like, I'm sure your first presentation you gave on stage was atrocious. It's like your first one's your worst one, right?
I remember the first time I had Roberto come and watch me speak. I'm in Costa Mesa. I like to blame the setup because it was like there was people could see us that weren't at the event on the second floor of the hotel looking down. There was like a bit of an echo, but I was so nervous.
You're just like robotic.
I'm just
like up there.
I'm like reading
what do I do
stuff
with my hands?
And he's filming it, and he was kind enough to find what was good.
Yeah.
Because he has this 3-to-1 ratio. 3 things that you do good, 1 thing that you can improve, so that your brain kind of and you know, there's a guy, Craig Manning, if you've ever met him, the sports psychiatrist that like helps people with that same philosophy. He works with Giannis Antetokounmpo right now.
Yeah.
So it's like that same formula. It's very scientific. So he helped me with that. And you know, even the first time I got on stage in this group, there's only 10 people in this group, and Michael Port was hosting it. You had to have a certain amount of fees that you charge for your speaking to be in the room. And he goes, all right, get up on stage. Let's work on something you're not good at. And so I'm in front of these peers, 30 minutes of torture and uncomfortable. But I spoke 2 days later to a bunch of dentists, which are awfully analytical sometimes.
Yeah, sure. They're like,
and this guy came up and hugged me and was crying, just like, dude, that was so impactful.
Right.
Because I was willing to be uncomfortable. And when people aren't willing to be uncomfortable, there's no growth.
Yeah.
So we raise the stakes, raise the standards, get uncomfortable, and then do the work. And yeah, you said pay for speed. I think this is the formula for acceleration. Number 1, find a mentor, because most people don't know what they want. So if you don't know what you want, it's hard to get what you want.
Yeah.
So the mentor asks questions so you get clear.
Right.
Then you have a coach. Coach tells you if that's what you want, here's the process to get there. Then you have systems to reinforce that on a regular basis, and then accountability. I pay attention to that, what I pay for. So when I pay for these things, like when I told you I'm going to get really good at media, I paid $200,000 for my coach.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable. I didn't want to spend $200,000, but I could read books, I could watch videos, and I would never get there. It would just be invisible, and it would take years. So I wanted to pay for that speed.
Yeah.
And also, when you spend that kind of money, and I tell my wife, we're going to make this investment, she's like, all right, I'm with you, but like, I don't get to not do the work at that point. You know?
Yeah.
It's
show up.
yeah,
Accountability. Oh, that's so good.
Well, and
I do love
you've
your
had him on
relationship.
stage, like,
Oh my gosh, honestly, like, yes, so good on stage.
Crushed it.
You're like the infinite, like, poetic too. I don't know how you do it, but you're like, it's almost like you're singing and rapping and like poeming. I don't even know how you do it, but it's so amazing to listen to.
I actually have that money rap that I've done here for you
which
guys.
we're not leaving this podcast till he does
That's
that.
like a 5.5 minute rap.
Yeah.
But then I also have this other thing where I wrote a one-man show to teach the concepts in Money Unmasked. How can we make it more enjoyable? And I actually do like a 7-minute spoken word thing at the end of that. And it's like always people pull out their phones because like, what's going to happen to this middle-aged white man when he says he's going to rap? You know,
That's
like
so
it's might not
Yeah.
be good, so we're going to capture that.
Yes.
And then when they're
Which I was
hopefully
actually,
surprised.
I was part of the comedy thing because, and I just loved how much time you spent on the craft. So I got hit up with one of his right-hand guys, and he's like, hey, Garrett's going to be doing a training in his basement. Can you jump on Zoom? So here I am on Zoom. Garrett's in his basement doing the full-on visualize and giving his, his full bit. And it was like incredible how hard you just worked. You grinded and did multiple reps, and then you crushed on stage. I mean, you did comedy. That's the hardest form of
Zoom
stage.
comedy. That's really hard, I remember I was feeling really bad because I had a really bad Zoom comedy set. And I watched The Greatest Average American by Nate Bargatze that night. And he talked about how during the COVID, he was doing a Zoom comedy and nobody laughed.
Right.
And he's like, I just felt like maybe I should quit. And then he found out they were Spanish speaking and he felt a lot better. And I just thought, what a great joke. But it's like, and so the second time I did it, I kind of cheated a little bit in that my manager was watching, but he didn't know I had 8 people in the room. So I turned my basement into a comedy club. We put a curtain. It was a gray curtain. We had the bar stool. We had the mic on the stand. And he's like, dude, how do you have that timing on Zoom? I let him for like a day think that I was that good on Zoom. I was like, no, man, I had an audience there, But you just, I like to find something that I can get obsessed about in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And so comedy was one of those things. I want to do it since I was 5. And I use that same formula. But as soon as my buddy Keith introduced me as being hysterical, and I gave a financial talk, so I told some jokes. So as soon as I walked off stage, I called my friend Marcus, who's a comedian. I said, can you be at my office tomorrow? It's like, why? I'm like, I look like Jesus. I just don't have his powers. I think there's a bit there. And he
Yes.
showed up, and my youngest son was there laughing hysterically. And then I was like, all right, so now I have the mentor, you know? And I was like, and then I hired this guy that was a writer for Chris Rock to coach me for a year. Like, so I didn't have to bomb on stage. I could bomb off of stage. It's a much more painless process.
Yeah.
And then my system was I had 3x5 cards that I would write jokes down. They were either yellow, green, or red. Red means they're not ready. Yellow is like, I got to work on them. Green is like, let's go take it to the stage.
Sweet.
And then the accountability was, I said, all right, we're going to film a comedy special April 15th, and it was November 15th. I was pretty accountable because now I was paying money for these, you know, for the venue and for the film crew. And it was one of the best times of my life. We got it on
I was
Amazon
at that
Prime.
one, right?
Yeah, you were there
It was
when
a massive,
we filmed it.
It was completely sold out theater. Incredible.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest moments was your son got up and gave he was the opener.
He crushed. Like,
he was
the thing
so
is,
good. Like just kind of digging on his dad's song, throwing some
people
fun.
in the room are like,
Yeah.
"Did Garrett really do this? It's uneasy. They're like, is this going to be painful?" And my son just like 5 minutes making fun of me.
Yeah.
Came out. Everybody was super excited.
What a great moment. Your son, and all of us will remember just the father, son walking out on that stage. It was a special moment.
He's mad because, you know, it was COVID, right after COVID. So he's a little like not as fit as he is today, super into lifting.
Yeah.
And so he introduces me on the Amazon Prime trailer.
Yeah.
And he's mad about it.
It's like, oh, I'm in better shape now.
Yeah, he's like, hey,
Even worse,
pre-film that?
it happened on my birthday. Like I literally, I had a client call like, dude, I see you're on Amazon Prime. I was on Amazon before, but you had to pay for it. And all of a sudden they upgraded me to Prime somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how. And I'm like, no, it's just Amazon. He's like, no, go check. And I looked, it was on my birthday. And I just remember telling my kids, I'm like, I did it. I went for it. And they're like, it's not Netflix though.
Put you back in your place, bro.
They're roasting me.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on.
Back to reality.
Yes, I love the relationship that you have with your wife. Like something that really inspires me is when couples can create empires together and support each other. And you share often stories of she's your greatest fan. She holds you accountable to your goals and dreams.
She's not my greatest fan.
Oh,
no,
okay,
no. Like,
okay.
No.
I love this. Okay.
She's my greatest sounding board. Like
Yes.
where other people are impressed, she's like, like
Yeah.
when like I remember it was her friend Kelsey and I and her were going through the airport and she goes to Kelsey, just so you know, people are gonna approach Garrett and tell him about his books.
Yep.
Kelsey's like, really? And like people stop me and my wife unimpressed, right?
Yeah.
Like
By the way,
like,
this
take
is
the garbage
so
out.
obnoxious.
Yeah.
but she's committed to asking me the questions I don't ask of myself. Like, what do you really want?
That's so
what
powerful.
will this look like? How are we going to fit this into our quality of life? And how can
power.
I best support you? And, you know, even though the first time I ever kind of did comedy was I was drunk at a formal black tie event at the Four Seasons. And they had one of these, like,
what could go wrong?
those jazzy mics. And when the jazz band finished, someone at the table goes, you should go up and do stand up. And so I just went up there because I had too much courage and not enough skill, thanks to tequila. And it was bad. And my wife left the room because she was so embarrassed. And then when I told her, babe, I'm going to do comedy, she's like, I don't know if you're as funny as you think you are. Here's what she said. That's not your biggest spot. She was in the front row when I did it. White knuckling, but impressed afterwards when people laughed. And she's like, all right, I think you got some here. And that night of that comedy special, she's actually on video because she's laughing so hard at one of the jokes, which wasn't part of the special, wasn't planned. It was me taking Viagra in Paris and her remembering the horrific event where I was too
Remembering that well.
inebriated and me passing out. So she was laughing. We got it on camera and like my kids were there, my parents, my in-laws. Like it was a really cool experience because it just brought people together.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there. You just saw
It's a beautiful
that it was
thing.
a time where people had been separated for a long time. So people were just super
Just
excited.
craving
the energy
that.
was electric. And it was cool that I just had an idea one day and it came to fruition because mentors, coaches, systems, and accountability. Like that's the game.
Such a great
Just
model.
proof. You're proof that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. And I think that that's honestly what our entrepreneurs need to hear is that it's just the start.
Go do
If
it.
you have an idea, then just start.
Right, because here's the thing. The people that stay stagnant look at their current ability to determine what their future is. I don't look at my current ability. I say, what's the future that excites me most? And I develop into that over time. So it creates a higher standard. It builds a new skill set. And I also bring other people. Like when we did that, there's 8 Emmy winners on that crew that night. Like they chose that venue. I didn't know about that venue.
Incredible.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
The backdrop was like that's what collaboration does.
Yeah.
Is they bring
Beautiful.
the skills you don't have to make the vision even more grand.
Okay, before we finish, we got to hear the rap.
Oh, well,
And it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Here we go.
Money walks, money talks. Money doesn't grow on trees. but it takes money to make money. There's easy money, even money, smart money, dumb money, old money, new money, mad money, funny money. There's hush money, loud money, short money, long money, beyond the money, and the money even made of money because money makes the man. You can roll in the money, rake in the money, run for the money, or take the money and run. Throw money at it, throw money around, even throw good money after bad. Money's no object when you're a money machine with money to burn, just pouring money down the drain. Anyway.
That is so good.
Yes!
I love it.
So amazing.
I absolutely love it. You need to use that clip on your social media. You've had like a million
Weston
plus.
actually directed the actual video of it. I don't know if you've seen the actual video at
I
the
see
beginning.
every video you do.
But I have all these costume changes, the lighting, the transitions. He did such a good job with it that Marty Callner, who actually won an Emmy with Seinfeld for being a director, he directed some of Robin Williams. His best man at his wedding was George Carlin. He created the Comedy Hall of Fame, Marty Callner. And so when we submitted the special to HBO, because Marty was the 8th employee ever at HBO, they said, this video is so Marty, it's so well done, but Marty had nothing to do with it. Weston did.
Oh, dude,
This for this thing was like, when he told me
freaking awesome.
the investment for it, I was like, man, that seems like a lot. I would have probably had like an iPhone. He had like
You'd have a
tracks
setup.
that they would like slide the cameras across. He had like, it was insane
You
what
have
he was
an
able
awesome
to do.
setup.
It was like super creative and it was really fun to do.
Dude, you're
so
such an incredible human being, but just how many great lessons we've learned in this podcast about, hey, if you want to do something great, you pay the price. You get the mentoring, you get that speed, the accountability piece, everything else, because I've seen this. I've known you for a while. I've seen evolution. You were really good earlier on your presentations, but I told you the last time I saw you, I was like, this was like the best presentation. You're a top 1%. And it's because you're following the model. You're practicing what you preach.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that helps inspire other people to do the things that they know deep down that they want to do, but they might be afraid to do, because I came from a coal mining town. My dad, my grandfathers, my great-grandfather, they were coal miners. It's not like, I lived in Salt Lake City and got a comedy special on Amazon Prime. That's not like the epicenter of comedy necessarily, although Keith with Wise Guys makes it pretty fantastic. So if people want to know like how to do it, I'll just hook them up with my audiobook of Money Unmasked, because that has the formulas inside of it.
Sweet.
Where money
You'll
doesn't
hook anyone
become
up,
an
X Room
excuse. And
community, hook
just
them up.
go ahead and DM X Room and Unmasked, and I'll hook them up on Instagram, Garrett B. Gunderson, and I'll just give them the audiobook for free.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you so much, obviously, for watching.
Thanks for always filling the room.
Oh, yeah,
Like
you got it.
Always, you heard the one laughing when I'm trying to do the financial roast, because I'm
He's
trying
the
to
golden,
use,
the golden
I can hear her
attendee.
laughing when everybody else is like not sure the joke's that good.
I'm like, no, it's so good. It's so good. Well, I do want the world to see what you have to do. So I will continue to keep filling your rooms, because you are transforming the way people think about money, the way they behave with money, and more importantly, how they're going to invest with money, right?
Incredible
they've
thought
got
leader.
it. Yeah,
Awesome.
so good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Love
being
you guys
here
both. I
as
appreciate
always.
it.
Thank you for watching the X Room. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, follow, and ring that bell. And then most importantly, obviously put in the comments what a freaking icon he is. And if you learned something new today, also put it in the comments so that we can share some love and laughter. Thanks, you guys. See you next X Room.